Good Friday afternoon, everybody. I took a little bit of a break this week from the blog. I mean, yes, of course, part of me is discouraged that it hasn't really snowed yet this year, but I'm not writing the winter off. I told you that on Monday when I put my post off. You're not going to see any major snowstorms over the next 2 weeks. I can almost guarantee you that. But you might see some snowfall, and for one thing, it's going to get bitterly cold next week. So the cold air is finally going to be here. You started to feel it this week. It's going to warm up with this little rainstorm we have coming in over the weekend, but then it gets really bitterly cold next week. And then from that period on becomes a question mark. So by the middle of January into February, will we finally get some active weather? I know there's a lot of negativity out there, and we have to acknowledge the fact that, okay, it hasn't snowed in December, and that doesn't look good for the winter statistically. But again, there is a lot going on, and things can change. So let me take you through the next couple of days here. This is the storm that's going to be developing this weekend. You can see there's a lot of cold air in place. So and this thing's going to start off tomorrow afternoon. Snow could definitely break out. There's for sure in Pennsylvania, even parts of New Jersey, you can start to snow. By the time we get to tomorrow night, you'll see in Vermont, upstate New York, this is all snow. So you're going to get some accumulating snow out of this. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of warm air advection because the low is passing to the west. So warm air comes up from the south. And you'll see by the time we get to early on Sunday morning, everybody's changing over to rain. So maybe North Stowe, Jay Peak can actually get mostly frozen precipitation, maybe Killington. But most areas here, guys, start to snow. Enjoy it while it lasts because it's going to quickly change over to rain. And temperatures will rapidly rise as we head into Sunday. By the time we get to Sunday afternoon, this should pretty much be pulled out, okay? And again, the reason why this storm is not coming up the coast instead cutting inland is quite simple, actually. We don't have a negative NAO. So this is what a negative NAO would be if you had a big high pressure, basically a red area here, which would then pull this ridge down the southeast and prevent this from phasing too early, or even cause the storm to even phase early to be running into a blocking high and have to redevelop. That's not the case. The storm quite simply just moves out of the area. So again, rain this weekend, some snow to start. And then here we go. Let's head into the early next week now. Very cold air. A polar vortex is sitting right up here. There's been a lot of stratospheric warming, so it's going to get very cold next week. And in fact, if I go to the temperature anomalies here, this is just a GFS model. I'll switch to the ensemble real quick to show you what we're really looking at. But pretty impressive, guys. I mean, this is in Fahrenheit. So by the time we get to late next week, I mean, we have temperature anomalies here that are going to be anywhere from 8 to 15 degrees below normal, especially out here. So this is the ensemble's forecast a week from this Thursday coming up. That's January 8th. Very bitterly cold weather. But again, it's not going to be an active storm track. So cold and dry. We actually might have a little clipper system come through on Tuesday, which will give us some light snow. But again, nothing I expect to be that significant at this time. I'll keep an eye on that. But again, very cold weather comes in next week after this storm system comes through this weekend. And if we go to the longer term here, I'll actually switch over now back to the upper air. Again, when I show these maps, guys, it's just showing blue is cold, orange is warm, basically. And you can see as we get past next week, and now we're heading out the next week from today, or a week from Saturday, the model shows warm, but this could change just because all year the models haven't been struggling a lot with the period outside of 7 days. So what I'm going to be looking for, guys, is once we get past next week, are we going to see ridging develop over Greenland? So we're going to see red come over Greenland. And again, like I said, when you get red over Greenland, it pushes a trough down to the east. So any storms that are coming off the Pacific or from the north can phase and head up the coast as opposed to cutting inland. If a storm passes to our east, we are on the cold sector of the storm, which is good. So again, not looking great. It's been a rough winter. At least we're going to get some cold weather, so it will feel like winter. But for that big snowstorm, there's a few things we need. And I'll say it one more time. We want a ridge in the west with the jet stream. We want the jet stream to dip over the east. And the biggest culprit to that is not only what goes on in the Pacific, but also what goes on over Greenland. So we'll keep an eye on that Greenland block. Thanks for checking in, guys. I'll keep updating when I can. But I'm keeping a close eye on this. I think we'll know by the middle of January if this winter is really going to be a bust or not. Take care. Happy New Year.